the last bit of it, as we are concluding, maybe a distinction because we talked about transactional databases, and now there's this data warehouse. So what is the distinction between the two? Is the aspect of normalization? Or you can start, Barry.
It's a hot topic.
I like explaining that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So. Transactional databases, sometimes I call them operational databases. This is where this database that are managing like databases behind the systems that the organizations are using, that they're used on a daily basis. And one common thing with the transactional database, it's a database that's made for to be easy for you to write into them data. That's why you'll find it very denormalized, normalized. But now for a data warehouse, it's where now most people are reading from it. And number two, even writing into a data warehouse, it's by intervals. You can use a day, 15 minutes. Some even do 1 week or even a month, once in a week, once in a month. But reading, you can read from it on a daily basis. So reading from a database that is highly denormalized makes it easy, because you realize that you don't have a lot of joins. If you are querying, let's say you are querying customer, the customer's details from a transactional database, you might find yourself doing a lot of joins from different tables, but compared to querying a customer on a data warehouse, you just say select stuff from dimension customers and everything's just in flattened down for you. So the need of a data warehouse. Some people will tell you that it's easy for you to plug in a reporting tool into an operational database. Let's say, for example, organizations that doesn't have many sources of data, they just have one source of data. Someone will tell you, just create a view and plug a Power BI on that, and then develop your reports. It will not perform as the way you could come up with a data warehouse and pull that data from data warehouse and do your reports.
So in essence, it's saying the data warehouse is already optimized for querying,
for reporting.
If you do the querying on the transactional database, it's going to slow it down. And one thing is for data warehouse also, it's used for storing historical data. We have that aspect of slowly changing dimension where you keep the history of what's changing within the data.
Normalization, denormalization.
He talked about it a bit.
Normalization
is just about breaking down, and Kema also talked about it when he was talking about building a data warehouse, where it's for the essence of writing. For instance, you don't want to go to a supermarket, for instance, and for some of us that have long names, at all time you go there, the system will have to write the whole of that name. Instead, it has been normalized in such a way that if they want to capture that particular customer, that customer has a record of maybe numbers, right? So let's say, for instance, 1, it's easier to just write 1, and 1 is John Adeyemi Olao. You see, it's even easier logically to write just 1 than typing all of those, right? So, but now when that is now normalization, where we are breaking that table into sections where it's easier to write into that system. But when we are talking about denormalization, and this is just very high level because we don't have whiteboards. So denormalization, on the other hand, is where now we have already written the kind of join at the back end when we are transforming that data, and now storing this data in kind of a flat format, right, where we can see more about this customer. Is it a male or she or female or things like that, right? We've already flattened that table out. Now that makes it easier to call. So I can just call from one table rather than calling from 5 tables, right? So it makes it easier. So basically, 1 is for writing, 1 is for writing, and 1 is mainly just for reading data out of the database.
Okay. I think we can conclude at this point. One was the final remarks.
Something you have not mentioned. I've also mentioned it's very important. It's also when developing a data warehouse. You need to look at the schemas, which is the Snowflake and the star schema. So for me, I like star schema because it's easy. Just have one join compared to Snowflake, where you have it's kind of, it tries to normalize again the data warehouse.
It's actually an extension of the star.
Yes, it's extension.
Maybe you can define in high level for the users who do not know about star schema and stuff like that.
So star schema is where, let's say you are working on let's say a supermarket database or a store database.
Yeah.
You just have your fact table in the middle, and all these dimensions they join to the fact, right? Yeah. So it's just like a star, right?
Okay.
Like fact in the middle and then the dimension on the sides.
Yeah.
But now a Snowflake schema is where you can have that star, yes, but let's say on this star that has let's say you have on the dimension you have like a region dimension where it's like you can have data for your maybe continental data.
Let's say East Africa.
Yeah, East African data. And then outside it, then you have another region dimension that now defines maybe the continents, right? Now you need to join this continent to this region which is within the continent. Then now go to the fact table. Yeah.
I can add on what Barry is saying. For example, if you are doing a star schema or a Snowflake, when a Snowflake, let's say talk about a customer comes from a certain state.
Yes.
And then from that state there is a region or there is a county. Then there is the region, and then now maybe the continent or yeah. So when you want to get to know where this customer is coming from, you first have to pass through the customer table.
Okay.
Then from the customer table, you can now go to the state or the county where this customer is coming from. So the moment you are going from the customer to the state and then to the region, you are now creating a Snowflake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final remarks.
Yeah, so it's interesting to talk about this topic, and the topic is so wide.
Yeah.
It's not something we can really cover in a short time.
But
I hope we have been able to at least explain what it is, and if there is any other question, we can direct it to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Benji, final remarks?
I would say the whole reason for having such a setup is basically to talk about data and how maybe various establishments could be data driven.
Yes.
And so I believe this conversation can be a wow moment for executives out there to understand what really data warehousing entails.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, so for me, I can just say my only remarks will be like when someone is working on data, let's say, you see there are some companies where we have data engineers, data analytics who just do the reporting, the data scientists who just do maybe the machine learning stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But it will be good if someone has an overview of everything from sourcing data, even if you are just a person who works on the reports.
Yeah.
You know the whole of this process so that you understand, like if I'm just doing the reports and I need certain data from the data warehouse and I'm now talking to a data engineer, I need to know how that data comes in and those kind of things, compared to you might find a case where someone just works on reports alone and they don't know what's happening in the back end. So sometimes it becomes easy. So it's good for people to practice working on this data from sourcing up to the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ken?
Yeah, I like discussing data with this gentleman. You know, if you look back, like let's say 10 years ago, we were talking about data collection most of the time. It's not even about analytics.
Yeah.
We're just talking about data collection. Right now we are at analytics level, right? We are doing reporting. And if we go further, we are looking at machine learning and AI. We are getting somewhere, see?
Yeah.
And I feel like also Kenya, like in essence, we need to be going toward that direction. We don't want to be hearing people talking about data collection in an organization. We want to hear them, they've already collected the data. It's an ongoing process. What next from there? They've already started analyzing the data. They're making decisions based on
their data.
Data field is huge.
It's very huge. Yeah.
We are on a very interesting time, right? Yeah. And if anybody wants to get into a data world, come in. It's very interesting. It's very huge. And data is not going anywhere. It's building up.
Right.
Yeah.
Matthew, final remarks?
Me, what I would say is
Yes.
let data speak the truth about your company.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't know where you have come from without analyzing that data.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's work and embrace the new technologies that are coming in,
Yeah.
where your companies and your decision making should be based on what you have come from,
Yeah.
and then now predicting where you are going.
Yeah.
So data is everything in a company.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen,
Yes.
for creating time to be here and to discuss this topic, which is very important for people out there who have no idea, or maybe people who want to join the data world. So what I'll say is let's continue spreading the data evangelism, and probably we can have these topics in depth in future episodes. So thank you so much.
Okay, so please subscribe to Data Talks with Lauren on YouTube.
And I think on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Right.
Instagram.
Yes.
You can give us your comments so that you know what you think about our conversations here.
Yes.
Yeah. And make sure you like, and share to your networks.
Yeah, true.
And don't forget to click on that notification bell.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.